Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Been a long time since I've been doing these Premier League predictions, I'm not gonna lie, but this is my first one back. This is game week 3, so yeah, we'll just predict these. Now, I did I were I was predicting these last week and the week before on my phone, and I got 2 scores bang on both weeks. So if I don't get right, if I get less than 2, then I count that as a failure. And my goal is to get 3 or more predictions correct this week. Anyway, let's start off with Chelsea against Luton Town. Now, Luton Town, suppose you can't really judge them, can you? They've only played one match due to their home fixture against Burnley at Kenilworth Road being suspended because their ground wasn't ready, and they lost 4-1 to a Brighton side who, let's be honest, are hard to beat, especially away. But this weekend they're going away to Chelsea. It doesn't get much easier. I'm sorry, but I'm going to go for... It's going to be a thrashing, and it wouldn't surprise me if I get this one horribly wrong. Chelsea 7, Luton Town 0. Yeah. Next match, we go down to the South Coast on Saturday lunchtime for AFC Bournemouth against Tottenham Hotspur. Now, Bournemouth, they got off to a reasonable start. They drew to West Ham, but then they lost to Liverpool at Anfield, which you probably would expect, which you probably would have expected, and isn't too hard to go on. But it's another tough one. And Postecoglou, Spurs coming off the back of a 2-2 draw to Brentford and then a 2-0 win at home to Manchester United. Yeah, I do think Tottenham Hotspur will win this one, and I do think it will be rather comfortable. I think it will be Tottenham Hotspur. I think it will be AFC Bournemouth 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. We now move over to one of our first of many London derbies. Brentford face Crystal Palace. It would not surprise me if it's a thriller draw. Palace started off the season really well. I've forgotten who they beat on the first game week. Oh yeah, Sheffield United. And then they lost to... I forgot who they lost to. Arsenal. Which is nothing to go by, because Arsenal are Arsenal. And they will probably win the league next season. Well, I mean, not... Why did I say win the league? They will probably get Champions League next season. Yeah. But Brentford are Brentford. They have just beaten Fulham. And they've drawn to Spurs the game week before. I do think Brentford will come away with another win. 1-0 Brentford. Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 0. We now head to the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal against Fulham. Fulham, they beaten Everton at Goodison Park, but then they went back to Craven Cottage and lost rather convincingly as well. I think it was 2-0 to Brentford, and that really does worry me. There's room for concerns, especially with Mitrovic gone. I can see Fulham being in a bit of a relegation dogfight. Moving on to my prediction, Arsenal 3, Fulham 1. Yeah, I do think Fulham will get a goal, but no. The next match, Manchester United against Nottingham Forest. Now, Manchester United haven't been at their best, and there are real question marks coming up for Manchester United, having to play Brighton, I think, next. They face Nottingham Forest, who have won one and lost one. No hard feelings losing to Arsenal, but then they beat Crystal Palace at home, which was a well-earned 3 points. Chris Wood with the winner. Against Sheffield United. I do think Manchester United will have to win, and they will win. And I think it will be Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0. The next match is Everton against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Everton are, both teams struggle to score. Wolves against Brighton had 16 shots each. So, yeah, they had 16 shots each. But Wolves can't finish their dinner. It could easily be a 0-0, it could easily be a 1-1. It could just easily be a Wolves win, but I've gone for Everton 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Next match, Brighton and Hove Albion against West Ham United. Brighton last week, a breaks of 4-1 wins for Brighton. If they win 4-1 this weekend coming, then they would have made it a hat-trick. I think. West Ham, first of all, drew to Bournemouth, beat Chelsea. Watch out for James Ward-Prowse. He will get you assists and goals, 1 for FPL. But I do think it will be Brighton and Hove Albion 2, West Ham United 0. I'm sorry. The most unpredictable match of the weekend next. It's Sheffield United against Manchester City. I am going for Sheffield United to win 3-1. Really thought that, didn't you? No. Sheffield United 0, Manchester City 4. Now, obviously, Manchester City, they're just Manchester City. Sheffield United, they did well. They fighted against Nottingham Forest, and that's what you could have asked for. So, yeah. Next match, Burnley against Aston Villa at Turf Moor. Now, I think, the Battle of the Claret and Blue Boys. Burnley, nothing much to judge on. They lost 3-0 to Manchester City. Manchester City are Manchester City. They will beat teams, and they are top of the league for a reason. and then they had their match postponed against Luton at Kenilworth Road because Luton Stadium isn't ready. Aston Villa, they lost 5-1 to Newcastle, but then they just beat Everton 4-0. 4-0, not good enough for Everton. But I think that win for Aston Villa was a statement, and I think Aston Villa will come away with the 3 points again this week. Burnley 3. No, sorry, Burnley 0, Aston Villa 3. And the final match, game of the weekend, Newcastle United against Liverpool. Now, going into this match, you can easily say for the first time in years that Newcastle are the favourites for this game coming into it. I think it will be a 1-1 draw. Yeah. Where neither side will have enough to win it. But Newcastle's home form is excellent, and I think Newcastle can easily win this match. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all in a bit.